Hey, what's up, fam? Honestly, Hero Machine got me on this one. I didn't think that it was going to be imposter on Homura. I was 100% in the belief that Homura was actually a traitor and was, there was maybe some working with another member of the Oraciones Galactica and, trying to infiltrate Drac and Joe or something. I bought into it. It got me on this one, I will admit. But even in this, it looks like the poor giant dude, the troll guy, is still dead, which kind of makes me pretty sad. I liked his out though. Poor guy. Maybe he'll just respawn. I don't know. I don't know how dying in this game works for the NPCs, but another good display for Shiki when the imposter is talking to him about how that's just computer data that he's protecting, and they're just running their systems for fear, and like Shiki wasn't having that. Obviously, he sees that as still a person. She's sentient, and that pretty much makes her a person. It doesn't matter if she's data or flesh. It's pretty nice from Shiki. He's keeping consistent with that. He definitely has that strong conviction towards what he sees as people because he grew up with all these robots. But when it's kind of confusing for them, Imposter More is just like I wasn't looking for Valkyrie. I was really in this just to kind of get to hopefully meet Drac and Joe and work for him. And that's when the Jamilov just is like, I don't care about any of this. I don't care about your guys' like weird subplot. I just want to, go back to killing and slaughter. And when they end up unleashing like all the little gremlins crossbows, the actual Homura shows up. We talked about how when she showed up, she was actually in a prison cell, and it took her a day to get out and locate them. It actually had a really funny bit when she said she wouldn't take up the appearance in the game as a man, but she does find it interesting. She's like, "Shit, I'm speaking out loud. I didn't mean to. I was trying to think that." And they're like, "Yeah, this is the real one. She's just weird." And I actually really like seeing Jamilov's weapon because one thing I'm hoping more in Eden Zero is it's more towards the equipment that their powers are set. Like Rave Master, it was a little bit scattered because you didn't know if they were gonna have some weird offset ability or a Dark Bring. And Fairy Tail was obviously their magic, and then the magic varies like heavily. But I'm hoping Eden Zero it's more of equipment because we know Ether Gear is going to be a thing, but outside of Ether Gear, it's entirely going to be what kind of strange weapon or robot or whatever the characters use. And Jamilov, you see him actually like grab one of the little monsters, and his weird like weapon that has a mouth bites into it, consumes it, and then like consumes a couple others, and then it looks like he converts into energy because he shoots like a beam, and it just like shoots through a bunch of these buildings, and then he can whip it and kind of use it as like this ranged energy cleave. Pretty cool. And Chiki's just like, nope, get in there. Goes, kicks him, but he's just completely unharmed. And it seems like it's not entirely that Jamilov is strong, which I'm guessing he is, obviously based off his relationship with Drac and Joe. But he's actually, from what their observations are, he's using cheats within the video game world with the Digitalis. So they're going to counter is going to be to use cheats of their own to empower Shiki. And that's really, I think that's in general pretty interesting what they're going to do here. Because I think that Digitalis is going to be some form of maybe hub in the future, like a meeting place, going to be used a lot more than I think the other planets because with the chronophage, like Digitalis, it looks like they can access it from pretty far away, and also the chronophage shouldn't be able to eat its time because it's just data. I mean, it's you could possibly try and pull out, but then it would just kind of vanish. I imagine it's not very old, but definitely interested in seeing how that's going to be used and why I. It isn't just that the idea of using cheats is it's pretty interesting. I've seen it in a couple other series in a similar manner. I remember what was it Jackie Chan had a cartoon, and a bunch of the bad guys cheated at one point with this book that keeps like history, and then they like rewrite reality within it. So like their plan, what they did was they just like pretty much wrote in it like stuff that happened, and then it would just give Jackie Chan power ups and stuff. That was pretty funny. So I don't think it's going to be as ridiculous as that, but we'll probably get something similar. And with the title of the next chapter, it's like I think it was the Great Monster Shiki, so we're probably going to get some really cool buffed up version of Shiki clashing up with Jamilov, and I'm wondering how that's going to go. I hope it doesn't get too out of hand, but all I really want is a cool design and maybe just like some Shiki hype for the future. But I kind of would rather it just be like cancel out whatever like unfair buffs Jamilov has, and then maybe we see a little bit more of that cool gravity like form, like the one he used to defeat the parasite that was posing as Elsa. It had like the green ether gear all over. He had like the wings on his forehead. He seemed a lot more kind of devious in the way he was fighting. Definitely interested in seeing more of that because I want to know exactly the extent of ether gear and where it leads to. Because that's something we don't know a lot about yet, and what's going to apply to him specifically because of maybe whatever main character stuff's going on for him because we haven't figured out entirely what Shiki's main character special thing is. We just know he has ether gear. Obviously, he's gonna have something about him that's stands out, but we haven't really got that far yet. But it gets back to Homura, who's chasing this character, who is revealed actually has the ability to copy someone's appearance, personality, and memories, and is this person Amira of the Galactic Intelligence Agency, Geo, who is trying to get under work for Drac and Joe to get information on him, to do whatever. So I'm wondering if they're a branch of the space government. They have a really long name. I forgot what it was. And or maybe some form of separate group that maybe they're just kind of like coinciding towards each other. But she ends up like saying all this because she still has aspects of Homura's personality on her, which I thought was pretty funny and a nice like way to explain like random exposition. But good stuff. Good stuff for this chapter. It was a nice twist and a nice setup for the next chapter. Like the last chapter was pretty enjoyable, nothing great, but it was a good setup, and this was also a good setup. So I think the next chapter hopefully will be pretty hype, just based off of the things that they're putting in place for it with cheat code and Shiki that we're gonna see. Other than that, drop a comment below what you thought about this chapter. It felt way faster, I think, than most because it was once you got to like Shiki or Homura explaining it to Shiki, it was already like halfway over, and then at that point, like the rest of the chapter was just like talking between Amira and Homura. I don't know. I think this chapter though felt shorter than any of the other chapters. I'm not really sure. I think it's just because there was not a lot of dialogue, and by the time you actually got to the reveal, it was already more than halfway in. But other than that, like I said, comment below. Don't forget to give you a thumbs up the video, befriend the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. And I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.